The regular meeting of the Anderson County Commissioners Court to order on March 11th, 2024 at 9:31 a.m. Show that a quorum is present. Currently, Commissioner Mims is absent from the room. First item will be the invocation followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll ask Commissioner Chapin if he'll lead us in the invocation this morning. Y'all stand with us, please, and tell the Lord in prayer.
Bow with me, please. Heavenly Father, Lord, just pray that you'll be with us today, Lord, that we make decisions for the county, Lord, that they'll just be effective, Lord, just be in your will. Lord, just pray for the men and women fighting for this country. Just keep them safe, Lord. Be with their families and comfort them. Lord, just watch over our county, watch over our country, and just pray that you'll continue to lead us and guide us. In Christ's name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mark, do we have anybody signed up? Okay. Morning, Commissioner. Okay. First, the next item is consent agenda. The consent agenda is considered to be self-explanatory, will be enacted with one motion. There will not be a separate discussion of these items. However, any consent agenda item may be removed for individual consideration pursuant to a request by a Commissioners Court member. We have budget amendments, and this is a cleanup for 2023, budget amendment number 206. And then for 2024, we've got two budget amendments, number 12 and 13. And then we have bills to consider. And does anybody have any utilities crossing county road?
Yes, sir, I have one.
Okay.
Brusher Creek Water is going to be boring under County Road 441 with a 3/4 inch pipe for service. And I don't have a date when they're going to do it, but yeah, they're asking to bore under 441 Brusher Creek Water.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yes, sir. Actually, it's not a utility crossing, but it is an update on Anderson County Road 2608. We may have to close it down due to the fact of the large sinkholes. I know Tara's here. There she is.
Yeah, I've been monitoring it this weekend.
Yes, sir. So I talked with Robert at Atmos Energy, and there's one very, very large one. There's about 4 of them, and one of them is coming up close to the road. That's where the pipeline is. So it's salt water or the gas pipeline. They're just sinking.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah. They made me aware of that the other day, and we've been monitoring it to see what's happening.
Yes, sir.
Anybody else?
No, sir, I have none.
Okay. If, while we're on that subject, if there's, and I know we've been talking about some joy on the, water lines with Spectrum. I've met with some people, Friday from Spectrum, and they're working on those invoices. So if anybody's got, maybe where Spectrum
Where they
has
hit water
accidentally
lines?
cut a water line or
Yes,
something, if y'all would let me know so I could get an invoice and send them to, I've got the administrator that directly deals with that, so
Yes, sir.
I've got a contact with him, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. And then, let's see, receive and record. We've got the racial profile report for 2023 for Anderson County Sheriff's Office, Constables Precinct 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we got minutes for January 8th, 2024, January 22nd, 2024. I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Mims. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Dixon. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So ordered. Can we pass those minutes? Get them signed right quick. So I don't forget.
Need to clean 'em? You just leave them in here? I mean, you think you could. I mean, you think you could. I know that's the name, but. When they're cold, I love it, man. Well, I do have other vices, but.
Will you give those to Mark?
Okay.
All right, the next item on the agenda, number 5, is here from Tanya Porter with the Department of Family and Protective Services regarding the proclamation number P01-2024, proclaiming April 2024 to be the Child Abuse Prevention Month in Palestine, Anderson County, Texas. Ms. Fuller, how are you this morning?
Great, great.
Okay, first of all, let me say thank you to the judge and to the commissioners for allowing me to come and read a proclamation for a very I hate to say, a much needed topic in our county and also in the state of Texas and also around the United States of America.
You might pull that mic down just a little bit.
Okay. Child Abuse Prevention Month proclamation. It is necessary to build a robust family well-being system that not only support families when they are in a crisis, but is intentional in supporting families before they are in crisis. In Texas, we believe that children thrive in safe, stable, nurturing families within their own community. Through establishing partnership with families that capitalize on the collective strengths of parents and their children, we can build strong, healthy families and resistant communities where children can strive. Sadly, child maltreatment is still a significant public health issue. Communities that lack accessible supports and resources can experience increased risk factors that lead to child abuse and neglect. Despite the complex factors that can lead to child maltreatment, it can be prevented. Each year, the month of April is dedicated to recognizing the critical work being done across our great state to support families before a crisis occurs and offer them accessible lifelines that mitigate the challenges they face. Child abuse prevention occurs every day through the diligent work, tireless advocacy, and simple acts of kindness undertaken by Texas families, friends, neighbors, houses of faith, advocacy centers, nonprofit organizations, schools, healthcare providers, social workers, and government agencies to support children and families in every community across the Lone Star State. Child abuse prevention cannot be tasked to one community, agency, or system. Behind many families that succeed on their own is a strong community that provides a way for the family to meet their needs. All Texans must work together to strengthen our communities and build local support that are accessible, contribute to the well-being of the entire community, and keep children and families safe together. I encourage all Texans to learn more about many aspects of our community working hard to create positive, healthy environments for the future leaders of our great state and nation. Together, we can create a brighter future for children, families, and communities in Texas, and ensure future leaders have the support they need to thrive and reach their potential. Fiscal year, and y'all, fiscal year for the state of Texas is September the 1st through August the 31st. So fiscal year 2023, there were 1,685 completed investigations of abuse or neglect in Texas, and 321 of those were from Anderson County. There were 5,120 confirmed victims of abuse and neglect in Texas, and 96 of those were from Anderson County. Out of the 9,965 children removed from their homes, 9 were from Anderson County. So therefore, I, Carrie G. McKinney, Anderson County Judge, do hereby proclaim April 2024 to be Child Abuse Prevention Month in Palestine, Texas, Anderson County, and urge the appropriate recognition whereof. And I just want to say something really, really quick. I don't know in the month of April if when you're driving, if you see like blue ribbons or you see pinwheels. We normally decorate the courthouse, but for April Child Abuse Awareness Month, we just really like people to wear blue. April the 5th is National Go Blue Day, but here in Anderson County, we're gonna do it on April the 12th. And it's just an initiative to show your support in prevention of child abuse. By going blue, you take a stand with us. You will raise awareness in your community and help keep Texas children safe. There is a story about the blue ribbon, and I don't know if you ever read the story, but I just urge everybody to Google blue ribbon and go read the story of the grandmother from Virginia named Bunny Finley, who tied a blue ribbon around her antenna to raise awareness because her 3-year-old grandson got killed at the hands of his dad by abuse and neglect. So April is very important, not only April, but every day. We do this work every day, but April is just set aside for Child Abuse Prevention Month. And Judge McKinney, you know I come to you every year asking for permission for us to have a program. And so April the 12th is the day that we have set aside that we have requested to have our program at the courthouse. We want to do it on the East Lawn, and we're asking for permission to decorate with our pinwheels and our signs, and leave it out after the me and Mo, and then we'll take them down like we did last year. So if you don't have anything to do on April the 12th, please come out, show your support for Anderson County Go Blue Day. #Child Abuse Prevention. So I thank you all for your time, your consideration, and allow me another year to come and present the proclamation for April to recognize Child Abuse Awareness Month in Anderson County.
What time is your program?
It's at 11 o'clock, I'm sorry, it's at 11.
Lisa's got you scheduled for the courthouse.
Yes,
That's
sir,
not a problem.
thank you.
All right.
Yeah.
And I'll make sure we get it mowed right before. That
Yes,
way it
sir.
doesn't interfere with the maintenance. So,
Yes, sir, thank you. And also, we will need some type of electricity because we're supposed to have a PA system. And then one of the ladies will be doing popcorn. So, and we just want to just come out and just raise awareness. And one of the investigators will be talking about understanding reporting and understanding why every case is not reported or why every case is not investigated that's called into CPS.
Well, thank
Okay.
you. Thank you
Thank
for all
you.
y'all do.
And
Thank
that's
you
at
very
11
much.
o'clock.
and like we said before, one case is too many.
At 11 o'clock.
All right, item number 6 is consider to take action on a proposal to quote from DRG Architects from a consulting firm recommended by the Texas Historical Commission to measure moisture content of the existing ceilings and determine the severity of deterioration of the plaster and metal lath of the 3rd floor of Anderson County Historical Courthouse to help determine the areas of the ceiling that need to be removed and repaired. They sent this, and I made copies I need to pass out. They sent this to me late Friday evening. So we printed it this morning. We've been working with them. They're gonna go up, take samples. There were two consulting firms that, James Malanaphy with the Historical Commission gave the architects, names of, so. That had done this before, and that they were familiar with, so. If you look on page 2, it's actually got the amount, there in that last paragraph. It's, WJE proposes to provide the scope of services described above for fee not to exceed $6,800. They've got to go, up in the, third floor and take samples in different places of the courthouse. We're hoping that maybe it's restricted to that one side with both of the courtrooms where the ceiling fell in. I'm hoping it did not. We don't have any. Of course, there's one big place in the rotunda, in the hallway. So, and you can see, I think I mentioned that before when I was giving the update. You can see that the rust is bleeded through the plaster. So probably that's gonna have to come down at some point too. Like I told the court, last meeting, we're gonna try to get that one courtroom up and running for Judge Durant, because he's playing musical courtrooms. He's gonna be using, this one across the hall, and then he's used mine the other day. So, we just need to get, before we can proceed with making a determination on what's gonna have to come down and be replaced, we need to get this test done and, kind of stay in line with the Historical Commission. The less we have to take down, less expense it's gonna be, so.
So they're determining the moisture content.
Right,
And-
they'll go up and take samples.
But then the amount of damage that is caused, that's what most of this is for, because the moisture.
That's what this is for, is to go throughout because it was leaking, so you got moisture from the last several years that is in that attic or in that space above that third floor ceiling. So, they just need to determine what's damaged to the extent it's gotta come out or not.
Yeah, so it's mainly the damage, because the moisture will dry out, right? So I mean,
Well, it
if we
should be,
fix the leak,
now that we've got a roof on,
yeah,
and it's protecting it now, but it's got, you've had moisture up there for a period of time, so what we need to do is assess how bad it is, how bad the damage is, and then proceed from there. Then the architects can take and make a determination on what our next steps are. And this was outlined in kind of what James Malanaphy with the Historical Commission said we needed to do. So, that was back in like February when we met of last year. Any questions?
no, I guess this following the steps that the Historical Commission is kind of set for us, so.
Yes, sir. All right. I'll entertain a motion to approve the proposal for WJE for, not to exceed $6,800 to take samples and do an assessment of the third floor, ceiling with the plaster and the lath. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by, Commissioner Hill. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Mims. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So ordered. One of the things that I had to be concerned about, and I went back and checked, and I got an asbestos assessment on that plaster too, because before we start taking anything down, we gotta know if it had asbestos in it.
But that's gonna be by another contractor or through this test?
No, I already had it done.
Okay.
And this was, I got Boone & Boone Construction to come in, they were, looking at this, roof over here too. So they went ahead and did, I talked to, the architects, and, if Boone & Boone could go ahead and do it, because we're looking at trying to get that one courtroom fixed in a hurry, so they're putting bid specs together to do that, in that one bathroom. So, anyway, I wanted it in the record So if someday somebody's looking, has anybody looked at that plaster, and we're talking about the plaster, that I had it done, and it's nice to get a win, we don't have any asbestos in the plaster. So I wanted to make sure that was in the record, because I couldn't find anything where it was assessed before, except in '96. And that was in the basement, and it wasn't the plaster, and the company's out of business, so I couldn't get anything from them through my research, so. All right, let's see.
But this assessment will mainly just tell us what we can do to the courthouse, being that it's a historical courthouse. I mean,
You're
that's
talking
basically-
about the one for WJE?
Yeah, the one they're doing right
They're
now,
doing an assessment.
of the
see how much we
damages
need
and
to
all that.
blast.
But once, we almost had to have this done to be able to proceed with that because of historical commission, right?
Correct.
It will also tell us how much needs to come out. though.
Yeah, hopefully not,
Well, they'll tell you that too.
not
but-
even more than just necessary. Hopefully. On that other side, I'm hoping, with the DA's office and Judge Duran's office, I'm hoping there's not too much damage over there. All right, item number
7.
7, consider and take action on a quote for Boone Boone Construction Ltd. for the repair and leaking roof by removing and replacing 10 broken skylight panels at the Anderson County Precinct 2 Commissioner County Barn and Maintenance Building located on Market Street. Commissioner Mims had talked to me, and we've been trying to get somebody over there to give us a quote, and I didn't know how much it was gonna cost or what the scope of the work was, but the building, it looks like it's just the skylights, so instead of having to bid all that out, it was $4,945 if Boone Boone does it. So if y'all wanna accept that.
I'd like to get some more bids on it before we go with that, but myself.
So that's,
That's just replacing those broken skylights.
Them broken skylights, you got 10 of them across there. But it's gonna cost $5,000.
yeah, we need to kind of get it done as soon as possible though, because
It's
when it
raining in on
rains,
this building, so that's.
they're about this big from,
Cause I actually got them to come over here to do a bid specs and bid it. But then it came in at a low price, so I thought,
well, I
put
had,
it on the agenda and go ahead and do it and get it over with. 'Cause
But you're gonna have.
That was a request of Commissioner Mims.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you
So I'm
got,
trying to
you got,
respond
you
to
got, calls this morning from your local guys. Your Bo Harding called, wanna know why you didn't get the shot
I
at
had
it.
numerous calls, people
Yeah,
asked me.
so I mean, you got 10 skylights for $5,000, so, and that's to a
If
company
that's what
that's
y'all wanna do, I'll.
out of
bid it.
county, so.
But I had numerous calls stating, asking why was Judge McKinney going out for, my Bourne, but due to the history of the Bourne, Precinct 2, that's actually not Precinct 2 Bourne, that's called the county shop, the county Bourne. Precinct 2 actually doesn't have its own Bourne, so with the court having Judge being the building administrator, I took it on to give it to
Yeah,
Judge.
that was
and
fine,
to
but
see
you
about
just
getting
got,
it
you got
fixed.
some locals that are gonna be wanting to look at this.
I understand, but I wanted the history out there so the people will know that if it was just a local Bourne, like say for instance yours or one of the other commissioners, I would have just went out, got work done, but I went to Judge because it's a county building and he's the building administrator for that building currently because that's what the court had elected him to be. I mean, we
Yes,
voted for him to be, but you know, Precinct 2 don't have his own Bourne, and I think back in 2015, I tried to get one, well, about 2014, but Karen didn't want me to get the old state yard when they left on West Oak to move to 19, and I think we were gonna get that for like $10 as a gift to us, but then the city ended up buying it, I think for 17, but
Well, I make a recommendation that you go out for bids on it, let your locals bid it.
I have no problem with that, that's what I called
Yes,
him
sir,
over here
I
to
didn't
do.
think there was, yes, sir.
I called him over here to give us bid specs,
Yeah,
bid it
perfect.
like we did on the awnings. And
but I just want the
But
court
he
to
can
know
do it.
something needs to be
he can
done
do it
down there.
It's such a low price, and that's why I didn't do it, because he said it's leaking, it's got busted skylights.
Exactly.
And it's leaking in his building. So
It's
I'm
been,
trying to
yeah, it
fix
has
that.
been.
But I'll be glad to go back out for bids, I don't mind. That was my initial intent. So we'll pass on item number 7. Item number 8, consider to take action on Agri-Life Extension Building located at 519 North Sycamore. Commissioner Chapin.
Yes, sir. There's several different things that needs to be looked at and completed on that, and I was gonna ask the court today if, it'd be their pleasure that they appoint Commissioner Hill and myself to, oversee that project. So that's what I'm asking the court today, to appoint us to, go over and assess the situation of the building and make decisions that we can bring back to the court and, make recommendations on getting the building completed. That'll be my motion.
Is that gonna be like working with an architect or somebody?
It just depends, I guess, if there's something that needs to be, under that, being, an architect need to be called in on it, or just decisions need to be made, whether if we, look at the kitchen project, elevator project, any escape projects of any kind, roof projects, anything that we can assess, that we can bring back to the court.
Okay, that's what I was gonna ask. You're saying you're gonna bring it back to the court, correct?
Oh, absolutely, and we'll work together on it.
Before
Yes,
any
sir.
decisions be made?
And bring it back to the court for sure, before we ever make any plans.
Yes, sir.
If the
Fine,
court, wishes.
I have no
Somebody
problem
wanna
with.
make a motion?
Well, my motion would be if y'all would allow us to work on it together, Commissioner Hill and Commissioner Chapin.
To assess
The extension bill,
the
to assess it, yes, sir. And,
Make recommendations.
yes, make the recommendations and to, basically be able to, get the project headed up and do whatever the court's wishes are with it.
All right, motion by Commissioner Chapin. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Dixon. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So ordered. All right, item number 9 is consider to take action for Precinct 2 Road and Bridge Department. To purchase, equipment from Ritchie Brothers Auction, not to exceed $50,000, each item purchased. Commissioner Mims.
Yes, sir. I would just like to get the court's approval. The auction will start in the morning and on Wednesday morning. There's a few items that Precinct 2 could use. It would be, I think they have a few reclaimers going through there. We use an old Bomag. This Bomag is a 78 model, 82 model, 1982 model, and I rebuilt the drum on it probably 12 years ago for like $30,000, and now it's starting to have oil in the engine, and I don't want to do that. I know recently Commissioner Hill went to look for one, and he's bidding on it, and it's not to exceed 80. So I found a few there that I could go look at, and I'm thinking I may be able to get them less than 50. We could possibly use another haul truck too. It's just according to if the bids are right on the haul trucks that are gonna come through and in the price range that I wanna spend per my budget for this fiscal year on equipment. If I could get 4 items less than $100,000, I'd rather do that. But I mean, if I could only walk away with 2, I'd rather get 4 approved today and whatever 2 I could walk away with. It would be good to get those 2. We'll also need to look at some, another used dump truck tandem or a single axle. And maybe even a trailer, so we could haul the backhoe. So those are the items. It would be a trailer, used dump truck, used haul truck, and a reclaimer.
So are you looking at,
It's going through Ritchie Brothers.
That's correct,
So
sir.
you can spend all that you have,
Oh, yes,
and
sir.
you can give
Right.
$80,000 to $100,000 for any piece of equipment if you have the money, because it's a public auction, so it's not gonna matter. But I'll put it in the form of motion to approve Commissioner Mims
I have a
to.
question.
But the amount I
ma'am.
want to, I mean,
Well, the
what I
issue-
want to do is
well,
not the
issue
amount, is the
that
equipment.
He would also have to come back to court for a
So-
check to be cut, so this is,
So if the court,
this
Oh,
is
you
satis-
wanna go ahead
this
and
is
get it done
satisfying
today?
that.
Yes.
Also, so you wanna do 4 pieces of
4 pieces of
equipment,
equipment.
50,000 each? Because
could.
you only have 60,000 in your capital outlay
yes,
right
I
now.
understand, but I also have some other money that.
I know, so how much do you want in your, what's the most you think you'll spend? 200,000?
I was gonna actually go over to, what's her name? She just had the baby? Your assistant? Jessica. I was gonna go to Jessica and ask her tentatively if she would move over 100,000 for me, just to
Well,
see if.
well, we need to do it now if you want us to cut a check whenever the auction's
In
over.
other words,
That's
we
right.
need to approve a budget amendment.
That's right.
Yeah, we can
So
just,
Want to
we,
spend up to $100,000.
yes, we can move over
Okay, so
100,000 from.
let's
You
do a
already got
budget
60 in
amendment
there,
for
though?
40. Let's do a budget amendment. This would be budget amendment number,
So let's be
14.
clear.
I got you now.
Let's be clear. How much do you want to spend total?
I wanna spend up to 100 right now.
$100,000?
he has 60 in capital outlay currently, so a budget
So I'll
amendment for
only need to move
40
over
from
40,
construction
I'll go to Jessica.
materials, which would be budget amendment number 14.
Okay,
All right, hold on, let me.
approve that.
So I was gonna go to Jessica to ask her to move 40, but we got it this way, and then I wanna also get
Gotcha.
it'll be a dump truck, haul truck, trailer, or a, reclaimer. That way we'll
Also,
have
if
all
you
that.
don't get the reclaimer, there's another one coming up on Auctioneer Express.
Okay,
And I ended up getting 49 for mine.
that's good.
What it ended up costing.
But he got a good bid on
Yeah,
on that one piece.
So
We did sign all the
We need to
contracts
approve
at the
that.
bank,
Budget
and I
amendment
did
14,
on
yes, sir.
all the trucks. Just so y'all know.
Okay, let me put it in the form of motion that we approve budget amendment 14, and then also to approve precinct 2, Commissioner Mims to spend up to $100,000 at Ritchie Brothers for this upcoming sale. So it won't matter what you buy as far as
Budget amendment number 14.
budget amendment for $40,000. Yes, sir.
All right, motion by Commissioner Chapin, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Dixon. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, so ordered. Item number 10 is consider to take action on preliminary plat for Dogwood Lake, Unit 2, located at US Highway 84, Anderson County Road 384.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, sir.
This is a,
Would you put
Phase-
your name on the record?
sure, David Kilgore. This is the Phase 2 for Dogwood Lake. And it is very, very simple. It's just 13.78 acres. We're divided into 4 properties on an existing county road. Gone through all the preliminary stuff, and this did say on here on the agenda preliminary, but this is actually final.
It's going to be the final plat of it. Just to bring them up to speed on it, that the original preliminary plat's already passed through court and it's been accepted. They're breaking it in phases, 1 through 4, right?
Yes.
It's like 4 different phases. So today it says that this is a preliminary plat, but this is actually the final part of the original preliminary. They're just doing it in phases. So he has paid the first original amount, the $1,000, and the $10 will be applied. You'll need to pay the $10 per each, phase that you pay. So if there's 4 this time, 40 next, okay?
Okay.
All right, I appreciate it.
This is is this in the ETJ?
I think it is. It was, yes.
They signed.
We made a request
Y'all
on,
made the request, and
That's the
gotcha.
problem.
we made a request on December 7th to be
December
removed.
7th, I think we did that. Well, y'all did that, I mean.
Okay, we had a meeting with the city, and they have an order from 2002 that's been in place that long, that if it's in the ETJ, they're the ones that regulate the ETJ. And so my concern is, have you worked that out with the city?
I requested to be removed from the ETJ on December the 7th.
Okay, so.
They asked me to resubmit some items, which I did immediately after that. And they, to the best of my knowledge, have not released us from the ETJ. They have taken no action on it.
And that's the dilemma we're in, because the legislation that was passed by the legislature, there's a lawsuit contesting that, on whether the city can release anybody or not. And so that has not still been resolved. And we were working with the city attorney and the city manager, to try to see if there's some way to go back and amend our order, but that hadn't happened yet. I hadn't heard back from the city manager or the city attorney, because they were gonna look at their side first, and then we were gonna give it to our district attorney and see if there's a way to amend that interlocal agreement. So I'm not sure if we can approve this or not.
For my understanding, no, Judge, wasn't it the fact that if they opt out of the
That's right.
ETJ, because the fact that the city said they were gonna put theirs on hold because of the lawsuit that's in Grand Prairie till it's finalized, and if anybody opted out, then it came back to the court for our subdivision plan.
That's where our meeting was at. Commissioner Chapin was there.
Senate Bill 23 clearly states that if you have submitted the letter within 45 days, you shall be released. So you are released from that obligation. Now, Granbury has a lawsuit. They're fighting. I don't know if they have any grounds to stand on against what the language in the Senate bill is, but today it says if you filed within 45 days, which you have complied with that, that this court can act on what that Senate bill states. Now, whether if they put us in a lawsuit, that would be something later on that us as the county would have to go up against. But I think right now the Senate bill clearly states that you've done your due diligence on what you had to do. You filed your letter, you are released, and that comes from Howard Powers, from what, they sent to us. So I think that we're fine to go on with it today. Because in the meeting, whenever we looked at the possibility of setting double standards for the county, within the ETJ, that even their lawyer of the city even agreed with me and said that we'd probably be in a lawsuit over that. So we really have to follow what the Senate bill says. So, and right now, like I said, if we don't follow that today with you, then I think you would have a legitimate lawsuit against us as a county, because I think you have that on your side, the Senate bill. So
Let me ask, who's providing the water?
Individual wells.
Sir?
Individual wells. There is no water provider providing water.
Because I've had some people in my office out there trying to figure out how they're gonna pay $20,000 or $30,000 for a well. And they were talking about being landlocked now. So, I don't know the
You've been
details.
speaking with Mr. Bryce Allen.
Well-
I had a great conversation with him the other day, and now we're best friends.
I've just got concerns before we enter in. I just wanna make sure the court.
is he landlocked?
No, he's not landlocked.
And you did submit your opt-out past 45 days from now, right?
Over 90 days ago, December the 7th,
Yes, sir.
Pearl Harbor Days when I submitted it.
And you're familiar with that, Tara? Okay,
Appreciate it.
yes, sir.
I can pull up the email, show you exactly where it was.
Somebody wish to make a motion
So moved.
to accept the
Front,
final, this is the final plan?
Yes.
sir?
Yes, on
Yes,
this
sir.
page.
Okay. Of Dogwood Lake Unit 2, located on US Highway 84 and Anderson County Road 384. Motion by Commissioner Dixon, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Chapin, all in favor say aye,
Aye.
and I'll abstain.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
You just need to get with Mark on that, those four,
I'm sorry, what?
that $10 deal. Just get with him later.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Item number 11 is consider and take action on hiring a third-party vendor to serve as a project manager to assist in completing the mobile video CAD, AVL, and mobile RMS projects for the sheriff's office.
Good morning.
Morning, Sheriff.
We'll go ahead and let Dick, he's been our point on this project. So I'll throw stuff in the floor, it looks like. What we're asking the Commissioners Court to do is accept, as you'll see in front of you, a quote from Synergy Technology to assist IT with getting the video project that the county has purchased for the sheriff's office up and running. We're only partially up and running at the moment. What we'd like to do is buy a block of time from Synergy up to $16,000 out of monies that's already been approved for this project that I still have in fund balance for the ARPA project, out of the ARPA money. So basically, I'm not asking to transfer any money anywhere or move any from anywhere else. I just want IT to have the resources they need to go ahead and get this thing done. It has stalled in several different places. And Synergy did a good job for us in the jail, and they have experience with these types of rollouts. So we'd like for them to have the opportunity to help with it.
Is this for the car video stuff?
Yes, sir. Mobile video, body cam, all of that. I'm still holding.
That's been going on for a while, hasn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We started in March of last year.
Yeah, I had the quote, it was, what is it, 528,000 is what we paid to GTS.
That's
And
correct.
It's iPro,
Yes,
so GTS was the one we were buying the stuff from, correct?
yes.
iPro was supposed to be our support.
They are our remote support, yes.
So I got a question.
Okay,
If this isn't working, and I've been following this and talking to IT, they kind of came into it full force back in January of this year, on the 23rd. Okay? So it kind of got passed to them on the 23rd of January, just a couple of months ago. And we've been working on it since March, and I know we got a lot of stuff installed into the cars and a lot of your equipment done, okay? But isn't there a service agreement? Did GTS or iPro give us a service agreement or any kind of support from a technical standpoint to come in here and find out why this, what I'm curious about is why we gotta spend more money when we spent over $500,000 for this project. And all of us support you, I supported you, because y'all needed the technology in your vehicles, and I thought it was a great idea. So what I'm asking is GTS and iPro ought to be standing here telling us why their equipment's not working.
Well, the equipment itself works. It's the networking to get the equipment to the server and the server configurations that's in question. And rather than have our IT, who do a good job, try to learn how to do all of that, I'm asking for a third-party vendor to come in because frankly, I'm not super happy with the service we've gotten from GTS as far as finding the necessary resources that we needed to get all of the networking done.
Well, I mean, that's my question. Have you spent $500,000 with a company that ought to come in here and give you the support to get the thing up and running?
Well,
I mean, that's just my opinion, Nick. I'm not
you know,
criticizing.
and again, Judge, I can't say I completely disagree with that, but at this point, we've stalled, and at the end of the day, we need this to be running to protect our officers and our jailers.
I mean, I want it up and running too, okay? And I see Synergy's talking about following our vendor policy. It's just that if we spent that much money, I'd like for them to at least come in here and stand where you're standing and explain why their system is not, and get with IT and find out if there's a solution or not.
Well, at the moment,
But I hadn't even seen a service agreement.
at the moment, Judge, everybody's pointing the finger at somebody else. So
That's
that's the
exactly
reason
right.
I wanted a neutral person that didn't have any skin in the game.
What is the court? I want them to get what they need to take care of their business, okay? I don't have a problem with that. It's just we're making a decision without that other parties ought to be in this courtroom answering why their stuff is not working for this Anderson County Sheriff's Department. That's the way I feel. I'd like to at least postpone this long enough to get iPro and GTS standing here at this podium explaining why their system's not working for Anderson County Sheriff's Office. And I don't think there's anything wrong with asking that question. And it's got nothing to do with y'all, okay?
I don't disagree, Judge, but at the end of the day, I just didn't want to delay it 2 weeks or a month more in order to try to get this rolled out. I'm still holding 10 video cameras for the jail that I can't roll out right now because we don't even know if we're gonna have enough space on the server that's been configured to support it.
And see, the other thing that the court needs to understand is we were told it's only gonna take up this much space on our servers. And Mike could speak to this if I mean, we were talking about this just in the last few days. It's taken an enormous amount of space that we didn't anticipate off of our servers, our equipment, for all of Anderson County's IT services. So.
Well, Judge, since you speak of it, I
So-
bought a 96 terabyte storage unit for this project that's been converted to backup. So, you know, at the end of the day, there is plenty of storage for it. It's just the primary server that they put in place, instead of using the other one, didn't have enough storage allocated for it. So that's, again, the
So
reason I want a third-party vendor that doesn't have any skin in the game to take a look at what we have and see if it's adequate.
Well, while we had budget, I mean, you still got some of the 600,000 that was allocated.
That's correct.
If we've got to buy server space to buy equipment, I want the court to be aware that we might have to do that for you too.
I agreed, and
And I
I've
don't
also
want to
been made
spend all
aware
that-
that all of the copies of those videos are on site. We're not actually storing any of them on the cloud because of cost concerns. So that's another issue that I want looked at while we have an independent third-party vendor under contract. And this may cost $500 or it may cost $16,000. I'm just asking for up to $16,000 of monies that's already been approved.
If somebody wants to make a motion, just my deal is, before we did that, I'd like to have GTS and iPro standing here explaining this, and so, but I'm with the court, it's whatever, I'll support the court on whatever decision they want to make.
I have no problem getting GTS and iPro here for the soonest meeting I can get them here for, but I would still ask for this third-party vendor.
Well, I make the motion, but I would like for you to see if you could get them in this courtroom
Absolutely.
to
Yes.
do some explaining to us on their part, but I know
Yes.
you need to get this up and running. So I make a motion, you're allowed to go with Synergy up to $16,000 to get your project moving forward.
Okay.
And I'll second that, but I want them to come in and talk to the court also.
Amen.
Yes, sir.
All right, motion by
Thank you.
Commissioner Dixon, second by Commissioner Mims, to allow the Sheriff's Department to use Synergy up to $16,000 to try to get their system working. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
And I'll abstain. All right, let's see. And that's sorted. Item number 12 is consider to take action on constructing the gravel parking lot on the west side of the Anderson County Jail. Construction to be completed by Anderson County Commissioners, authorized commissioners to expend funds as necessary for materials. Sheriff?
This is to assist us in providing our daily services to the public. As the sheriff's office has grown over time, our need for parking has grown. When I took over, Commissioner Precinct 1 helped us with getting several additional parking places, but they're still inadequate. This will be temporary parking to allow us to put vehicles there that are in process of being equipped or being de-rigged as they go out of service, but allow all of the available public parking spaces to be there for our citizens to use and not be unduly burdened or inconvenienced.
Is that between like your administrative office and juvenile?
No,
Is
no.
it-
No, sir.
It'll be on the west side between the.
East side.
East side, east side.
See, that's why I was confused. It said
On the
west.
grassy area before you start getting towards the public roadway that would
That's right.
lead to the cemetery.
So the other side. Okay. Outside the jail.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I went and looked at the project with him, and he's got a lot of room there, park a lot of cars, just talking about building it, making it a gravel parking lot. We've looked at and chased all the sewer lines and just to make sure that there weren't, any pressures that we're gonna put on something to break it, and everything looked really in good shape. But the only thing we might have to do is, buying this material, and maybe a couple of us can go over there and look at it and see that if RAP would do, I think it would. The ground's really stout and it's got a lot of drainage, a lot of fall to it. It's probably about a 3-in-1, fall. It's got a lot of fall to it, so it falls pretty heavy drainage wise, but we might have to use maybe some ARPA money or something to be able to get the material to cover it with. Where last time we had the concrete contractors come in and we used, I guess, like our capital outlay or contingency money, but I think we can buy it with some of that extra money we got. Could take up to 30 loads maybe. We just have to look at it and see. And I'd be willing to do the work for you.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just curious, what fund is the materials coming out? Is it Road and Bridge or is it Sheriff's Office or
Well-
another fund, ARPA?
Yeah, do we have some ARPA that, can I label it ARPA funds? We have ARPA funds that we can use, right? Just come out of ARPA funds.
Up to a certain amount? Do
Uh,
you want to
Yeah, I
kind
mean,
of put a number on it?
I don't know what's the material
Do
cost.
you want to bring that back to court by the time we figure out
How much?
how much or?
Yeah.
'Cause
So
can
we
do
can
the
approve today
measurement
that
on
we
it.
just approve today that the project to
The
get started
project,
and then
and
come
then
back
once
and
we-
approve the payment?
We can come back and say
Materials.
this is how much material it's gonna take.
Cost after you get it all mapped out.
Are you trying to, you're not gonna do it in the next 2 weeks?
No, sir.
Okay. So we can do it on the next
And
agenda.
then we'd know how much it's gonna cost.
Cost.
So I'm gonna have to pull down one of those banks going to that, I guess it's the city road, pull down the bank and, to make it accessible and then just have to measure it out. Maybe Kenneth and I can go over there and do some math work on it and see how much material. And it could be something we have to add to again later, depending on what the ground does, if it eats up the material, but basically it's just gonna be a gravel parking lot to park the excess vehicles.
It'll be for us to make room in the parking lot so that we can actually get people into the parking lot that are doing business.
We put
with the jail
11
and the sheriff's.
11 slots in last time and you still can't park.
Okay. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve, constructing a gravel parking lot on the west side of the Anderson County Jail.
Sure.
To be completed by, Anderson County Commissioner.
So,
And I guess, we'll put the fee on the next agenda.
I'll put it in form of
So-
motion.
Okay. Well, I think Joey's already made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, second by Commissioner Mims. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So ordered. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Judge, 1 second, please. I meant to ask a question, I forgot. When, if we can go back to item 6 real fast?
6.
Yes, sir. And it's just about the, historical part. When item 7 was read in the press and I was receiving calls, I received a call asking, is the county courthouse still considered a historical building? They were told that there were some renovations back in the days that were not done properly and we lost that status. Is that so?
No. We still have our historical designation.
Okay, because they said if we did not have that status, we
fact,
didn't have to spend the money
I think
doing the
that's in that
historical part.
proposal. I think they noted in there our historical designation in the proposal that I handed out from WJE.
Okay,
That's
I got
actually
it.
in there on the history of when it was designated.
All right.
Okay.
yes, sir. They emailed me and called me and I never had that question before, so.
Yeah.
So I just said I was gonna ask during this item.
Yeah, but if you'll look at it and review that.
So we still have our
It's in that,
status.
it's in that, attachment to that proposal, okay?
All right, 'cause they
If
just
it's
told us.
not, I've got an email probably, because I know I just read
No,
that.
I trust you on it. They just stated that if we didn't have that status,
Do we
didn't have
need,
to spend that extra
do
historical.
we need to amend that, the parking lot to be the east side instead of the west side? Is that necessary?
Oh,
I think you should say that in the motion, Joey.
Okay.
Did you say that in the motion?
I retract my motion,
You want to rescind your motion?
rescind my motion, I mean,
Okay.
instead of the west side of the courthouse, the jail, it is the east side of Anderson
What if we amend it?
County, whatever.
Will that work? Okay. All right, Commissioner Hill is making a motion to amend, let me go back to the agenda. I just read it and I didn't catch it. Amend, item number 12 on the agenda, to approve the, construction of a gravel parking lot on the east side of the Anderson County Jail. That's his motion to amend, correct?
Yes, sir.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, second on the motion to amend. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So ordered. Now on the, I'll entertain a motion to approve constructing a gravel parking lot on the, east side of the Anderson County Jail as amended, to be done with the commissioners, by the, commissioners court, or the commissioners. I get it right in a minute. Anyway, so that's the original motion as amended. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Dixon. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Mims. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? So ordered. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thanks for. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Mims, do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Hill, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, so ordered. Thank y'all.